Hello everyone and welcome. This video, I just want to take you around Google Earth Pro just to show you a few tips for navigating. You can definitely and you should explore it a little bit more on your own. So hopefully you have installed the Google Earth Pro version. And I'm just going to open up my icon here that's on my desktop. And I have it set to come up with the tips. So you might see this screen come up with tips. I highly recommend you take some time and go through these because it will give you a lot of great information. For now, I'm going to close it. So when you come into Google Earth, the first thing you're going to see here in the middle of the screen is your main map view. And it will oftentimes try to orient the globe when it comes in based on your location, or sometimes it'll go to the last place you had been looking at or visiting. Now, with this particular map, there are a few things you can do to help you get around. You should see this little hand icon that's moving around. If you place that icon somewhere on the globe and hold down your left mouse button and drag, you'll see that you're able to drag the globe. So if I let go of the mouse button, now my mouse cursor is just free floating. So again, you can drag it, and I recommend, play around with it a little bit so you can get a feel for that. Okay, so that's one way. Also from the globe view, okay, if you place your cursor, this little hand, in an area and left double click, it will zoom in centered around wherever the cursor is. And if I left double click again, it will continue to zoom in. Okay. And again, I can still drag, right, to move around. And again, if you left double click, it'll keep moving in. Okay. If you right double click, it'll move out. So left double click in, right double click, gotta do it fast. So there we go, out. So you can use the mouse. Another way to change your perspective is here in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to notice that there are some arrows. There's a little eye, there's a hand, and then there's this little bar with plus and minus. The bar with the plus and minus is your zoom. And if you notice, there's a little button here and it says drag the slider or click the buttons to zoom in or out. So if I place my mouse cursor right on this little button here in the middle and I drag up plus towards the plus, I'm going to move or zoom in. And if I move out or down towards the minus, I'm going to zoom out. You can also click on the minus and click on the plus. There we go. All right. Now, in addition to this slider, you have this little hand over here with these buttons. And if you click the button, you're going to see it moves your perspective. And if you click right here in the middle, you'll see it, and hold the mouse button down, it'll just kind of move around. So you can use the buttons to move it around, or you can use the mouse to drag it around. Then up here, you'll notice that there's this other wheel, and it's got this little eye. Again, you can use this. While it does seem to be kind of moving it, you'll notice when you move this way, it just moves you right and left. But when you use the eye, I don't know if you can see this in. See how every time I click it, the end is moving? And it's like I'm twirling. Okay. And I can point to this in and move it back and drag it around. And basically, this bottom button with the hand moves you left and right, top and bottom, and the white circle with the eye spins you around. It does your rotation, and that has to do, the N stands for north, and we'll get into that more later. But again, the big thing for this first week and in general is just to be playing with zooming in, zooming out. Sorry, it should be zooming out, zooming in, and rotating it and moving it around. So that's one way that you can navigate. You can zoom in and out, and you can use the buttons. The other way to navigate in Google Earth is using the search bar, which is up in the upper left-hand corner up here where it says search. And there's a white box. You can click in that box and type in an address. Okay. So here I'll type in 51 East, and then you can click on search, and then it's going to, if it finds a relative location, it's going to zoom in or fly in to that general area. It'll put little, they're called waymarks, or little points, and we'll get into these more in future activities. But it puts these little marks in, and then you'll notice it's zoomed us in. In fact, here is our Mays Landing campus. You can not only type in exact addresses, you can also, for instance, type in countries. Okay, and so it'll kind of zoom out, and it's a little hard to see. There's a little bloop right there, and if I zoom in just a little bit more, now you can really see this area. You can also type in features, and it will zoom to those particular features. And again, it puts you in an approximate place, and you can zoom in or out to really get a feel for this beautiful, beautiful canyon. All right, so again, you can search. There are a couple of other ways to find places, but for a lot of what we're doing and for your first basic assignment, you want to focus on zooming in and out, using this search feature to find different locations and just to get a feel. We're going to look next at something called layers, which again, we'll explore a little bit more, but if you want to get ahead and play around a little bit, you may notice down here in the lower left, there's this part of the menu that's called layers, and you'll notice there are some check boxes. If you want to experiment clicking these check boxes on and off, again, you may notice as you click these different things on and off, sometimes different things change, sometimes they don't. But again, it's something you can kind of play with, and then we'll work on this more in future lessons. So again, that's a look at just how to get around. So enjoy exploring. Take care.